shook Terence Crawford. Hey, they gotta pay like they weight, man. Show y'all. Hey, one thing I'm gonna tell y'all, my kids do not eat off.
Alright, y'all just heard that fuck shit, right? You guys heard what I heard? That was Errol Spence Jr., welterweight champion, talking about, oh, if Terence Crawford doesn't agree to a 70-30, per split for the fight to happen, he's going to push for an 80-20 split instead. He said that on Instagram Live. And to me, that just sounds ridiculous. It's kind of actually disrespectful, an insult to Terence Bud Crawford, if you're asking me. Because to be honest, Terence Crawford's had more of a reign as, a more of a legitimate champion. As far as, like reign lengthwise, he has, had a longer reign than Errol Spence has. Uh, and even in relevancy, I can say. You know what I'm saying? And short thing, Errol Spence draws more than Terence Crawford if you want to talk about surely on numbers and, ratings and, putting butts in seats. But to me, man, there you got to look at both sides of the paper. You can't just look at it like, oh, outside of Nebraska, Terence Crawford don't really draw like that, and he don't sell out football stadiums or I'm saying like, and some people's arguments, I heard a homie of mine say, Terence Crawford, hasn't really, fought, the super competition, but in my opinion, neither has Errol Spence. He just recently started fighting PBC's top welterweights. Danny Garcia. No disrespect, he's somewhat past his prime. He had a very close fight with Sean Porter. That's another, good quality opponent. Then Mikey Garcia, him as well. I don't think welterweight is really like where he belongs. But yeah, I mean, and he fought Kell Brook, but Kell Brook kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was that was like his breaking point win, in my opinion. Hit the Kell Brook and Lamont Peterson, but that was like what 2018, 2017. Terence Crawford been he took that title at 135 as the legitimate, like as the man at 135. Then 140 did the same thing. Then came up to 147 and did his thing as well. As far as were like recently, yes, Errol Spence has fought more worthy opponents than Terence Crawford. But I mean, come on, man, you can't just knock what Terence Crawford has done in the sport as well. He's had longevity in this sport that he could be considered arguably number one pound for pound. It's either him or Canelo. If we talking pound for pound, I would rank Terence Crawford above Errol Spence because, like I said, if we talking, statistically, Terence Crawford has had more of a reign, a longer reign than Errol Spence. Ain't no other way around it. And to me, on paper, it's just more impressive. 135 to 140 to 147. He's cleared two weight classes, and other than his very recent opponents, like he's had just as about the same worthy opponents as Errol Spence Jr. And that's just me speaking, but what y'all think? Because 80-20, 70-30 kind of sounds like ridiculous, kind of seems like a scapegoat to me on Errol Spence's part. Yeah, I mean, if I was Terence Crawford, I wouldn't be down with it. And if I was his promoter, I wouldn't be down with that either. That being said, man, you heard Terence Crawford talk about at the Ortiz Hooker fight. Oh, that fight with Errol Spence, dead. That's not even lingering in his head anymore. He doesn't even want to, discuss that fight even happening after, hearing insults like that, talking about, 80-20, 70-30. Like, Errol Spence has, got caught up in his own hype. Maybe I don't know. He survived a accident, thank God, and then came back, bounced back, and defeated Danny Garcia in an impressive fashion. Maybe that's why he just little he feeling himself. Maybe I don't know. Nothing wrong with confidence, but like when you talking about the two top guys in the same weight class, come on, man. Like it doesn't matter if you draw a little more. It's not like you draw ridiculously more than Terence Crawford. It's not like that. With that being said, man, they should negotiate on better terms. Honestly, if that fight is deaded, like it's not good for the sport because we want to see who the undisputed champion is. Like I don't want this to be another Mayweather Pacquiao of this era, of this post Mayweather era, of they're just gonna keep dragging this fight or like for a long time. They're just gonna fight either mandatories or opponents. I don't want to use the word washed up because that's kind of disrespectful, but I can say like not the top level contenders. Uh, like the second most money making fights that y'all can make with these two fighters, or like somewhat worthy opponents. Like what I'm saying, with these sanctioning bodies, organizations, with WBC, WBA, all these different organizations and how they have their mandatories, it's not really like what I'm saying, like on some pound for pound, like top contenders. you know, I feel like that's what they're gonna do. Maybe drag it on for like 2, 3, 4 years. Have them two fighting. Like opponents that they can surely beat. That way, the fighters get paid, the promoters get paid, and then, yeah, after a while, it's gonna lose its hype. I mean, Terence Crawford been fighting at top level in every weight class he's fought in since he became a champion. How long can that reign go on for? Like what is Errol Spence gonna fight a Manny Pacquiao next for title unification? Like since they both were PBC, where he's gonna fight Keith Thurman? Like I'm saying, Pacquiao, one of the greats. He's up there as one of the greatest of all time, but he's past his prime, and that could be like a passing of the torch where he's gonna fight like I said, Keith Thurman. Thurman's on. He's trying to bounce back from that L that he took from Pacquiao. I'm not. Neither one of those fights sound as intriguing as him taking on Terence Crawford. And who is Terence Crawford gonna fight? Ortiz. He's only what like he's in his early 20s. I don't think he's ready for action with Terence Crawford. Honestly speaking. That being said, and PBC got more, in-depth roster when it comes to that welterweight weight class. Um, that being said, man, like this fight has to happen very soon, in my opinion. But like I said, man, let me know like what y'all think about this whole controversy or this talks about this where they stand with the economics to make this fight happen. Like, let me know what y'all opinions is in the comment section below. And yeah, man, I stand where I stand. I feel like that demand is kind of ridiculous. And even when Errol Spence was on IG Live saying what he was saying, I think he knew what he was doing. Kind of trolling, kind of egging that on. But we'll just see, man.